What is going on, internet world? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I am your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying fly stick team on YouTube. And we are here today with our Week 2 battle of the OMDL SKETCHMONS against Beater and the Philadelphia Flygons. This is going to be an amazing match. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we are here breaking down our Week 2 matchup against Beater and the Philadelphia Flygons for the OMDL. He's got a really scary team, one of the toughest in the league in my opinion, but I think we have a pretty solid squad to take him on this week. His first mon is Tornadus-Therian, an incredible mon, a pure flying type with base 121 speed, 110 special attack, 100 attack, and just an absolutely insane move pool. Hurricanes, Heat Wave, Sludge Wave, Psychic, Dark Pulse, they all hit incredibly hard. It can nasty plot up to boost those moves further. It gets good physical moves like Knockoff, Superpower, U-Turn, run Acrobatics, which is also pretty spooky. It can run a bunch of different sets really well with its Regenerator ability, running Assault Vest, Rocky Helmet, Heavy Duty Boots, Choice Specs, Choice Scarf. It just does so many things. That's without even taking into consideration his sketched move. He has Oblivion Wing on this, which is Yveltal's signature move. A base 80 power flying type move that works like Draining Kiss, recovering 75% of the damage dealt. It's absolutely insane on Torn T, giving it increased longevity, and it can run Life Orb sets really easily. So Torn probably coming this match. I have some relatively kind of okay switch-ins to it, but it's just so good. It does a whole bunch of things. It can switch in on M-Scissor, scare it really hard with a Heat Wave. It does a bunch of other things. It does get pressured by Coco pretty hard, but if he's something like an Assault Vest set, Rising Voltage might not kill just because he is off the ground, so I have to keep that in mind. Next up is Tyranitar, a very bulky rock and dark type with Sandstream ability. Yeah, Stone Edges and Crunches hit pretty hard. It's got a very solid move pool. Runs Smooth Rock very well to extend the sand and boost up its special defense. It can run Assault Vest as well, just for added special defense. It can run Dragon Dance sets. It can just be a great stealth rocker with a solid move pool. Definitely not expecting Assault Vest, as his sketched move is Shore Up on this guy, giving him 75% recovery, I believe, or maybe it's 2/3 recovery in sand. Whatever it is, it's absolutely nuts. Giving Tyranitar some great longevity, helping on Dragon Dance sets or just bulky sets. So Tyranitar in this match, I think, probably comes, at least as just a support set for his Excadrill, as you'll see. But T-Tar does some good work against me. I don't have a whole lot that wants to switch into repeated Stone Edges. He can run something like EQ to hit Pex or Ice Punch to hit Gliscor and stop it from doing some things. Or just Fire Punch to hit M-Sizz. But he doesn't want to take like multiple Dazzling Gleams from Coco, even in Sand. He doesn't want to take Bullet Punches or Bone Morangs from something like Mega Scissor, nor does he want to take Scalds from Toxic Pex. So still expecting Tyranitar, but I do have some good stuff for it, but I think it still comes. Next up, like I said, he's got Excadrill, an incredibly scary Sand Sweeper with the Sand Rush ability. He can also run Mold Breaker as well. Earthquakes and Iron Heads, it can hit incredibly hard. It can Rapid Spin to remove hazards and speed boost up. He's got Swords Dance to boost his attack further, and it got some other decent moves. Excadrill is a massive problem this match. Usually you'd think it'd be okay, because I have Gliscor, which is one of the best checks to it. But he has multi-attack on Excadrill, which, using the respective memory, probably Ice. This week could see Fire as well. He gives it an 120 power coverage move that just hits anything on my team. So probably expecting the Ice one this week, just to hit Gliscor and shut it down. I could also see Fire if he hard predicts Mega Scissor as my check to it, which is, as you'll see, is what I'm bringing. So I'm totally worried about Excadrill. It's probably going to mess me up. I have some decent options for it, obviously. If he's not running Ice Memory, then Gliscor can handle it pretty well. If he's not running Fire, Mega Scissor can try his best. But, obviously he does have to run the memory. He doesn't have the luxury of running something like Leftovers or Life Orb or Choice Band, but Excadrill is an absolute menace nonetheless. Next up is Latias, a very bulky, fast, and strong Psychic and Dragon type with the Levitate ability. Base 110 speed is very solid, along with base 110 special attack, and then 130 special defense, making it very bulky. It's got fantastic coverage in moves like Draco Meteor, Psychic and Psyshock, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Mystical Fire, Energy Ball, Aura Sphere. It just gets so many moves. It can Calm Mind up, it can recover and roost for longevity, and he has Magma Storm as his sketch move, giving it a little bit stronger of a fire type coverage move, and giving it trapping ability. He can run Toxic Stalling with that. He ran that week 1. Just giving it another really cool option. So Latias is probably coming in this match, probably more offensive set. I don't have really good switch-ins for its dual stab less coverage, so definitely worried about like a Calm Mind Latias or just an offensive one, maybe a Choice Scarf set. So definitely worried about that. Next up is Infernape, a very versatile and strong fire and fighting type. with the Blaze and Iron Fist abilities. A fantastic mixed attacker with base 104 in both of its attacks and 108 in speed. It can set up in both regards with Swords Dance and Nasty Plot respectively, and it's got a fantastic move pool. On the physical side, you can hit with Flare Blitz, Close Combat, U-Turn, Gunk Shot, Earthquake, Thunder Punch. His sketch move is Horn Leech, giving him something to hit bulky waters a little bit harder and to recover some HP back, which is pretty spooky. On the special side, you can use moves like Fire Blast, Focus Blast, Vacuum Wave for priority. It also gets Mouth Punch on the physical side for priority. So Infernape, I don't think it comes. He could bring it if he's really scared of something like Mega Scizor, but Coco does a good bunch to it. Something like Gliscor and Toxapex aren't going to take a whole lot. So maybe I could see Infernape just to deal with Scizor and Delmise, but I think he's got some better mons to fill the slots this week. Next up is Mega Blastoise, an incredibly scary poor water type with the Mega Launcher ability. It's got a very solid move pool, stuff like Water Pulse, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse. It can run physical moves like Earthquake. It's a great pivot with Flip Turn. It can remove hazards with Rapid Spin. It can also boost up speed for more offensive sets. It doesn't get to run Shell Smash, thank God, but it's incredibly scary and strong. Very bulky. And he has Origin Pulse on this, which, yes, is multiplied by Mega Launcher. So it essentially gives him a base 165 power water move. It just hits like an absolute truck. So I don't have a lot of switch-ins to Mega Blastoise. My one thing is Toxapex. He can run a physical move like Earthquake, and that'll do a whole lot, especially if he's invested. So definitely worried about Mega Blastoise. I think it probably has a very good chance of coming. I think there's some other things on the team he kind of needs to bring, but I'm still definitely expecting Blastoise anyway, even if it doesn't come. Next up is Toxtricity, an incredibly scary electric and poison type with the Punk Rock ability. It can also run Technician. An incredibly scary wall breaker with stuff like Choice Specs, Overdrive, and Boom Burst. Coming off Punk Rock, that hits so hard. Also gets Sludge Wave for secondaries, Dual Stab, and some other cool moves like Gunk Shot, Drain Punch. It can run Shift Gear sets with physical attacks just to be a little bit more versatile and boost up in speed. But Choice Specs just hits incredibly hard with its move pool. His sketch move is Sparkling Aria, which is an incredible move on it. As it is a sound type move, it's getting boosted up by Punk Rock, and it hits those pesky ground types. So something like Gliscor definitely doesn't want to switch in. I have an okay switch in Delmise as it's resisting, Overdrive and Sparkling Aria, and is immune to Boom Burst. But even something like a Spec Sludge Wave is still going to be doing a ton to me. So I'm expecting Toxtricity this week. I could see maybe like a Choice Scarf set. Maybe he runs Rising Voltage to take advantage of my terrain, because I just don't have a whole lot for its 4 coverage moves. Next up is Aromatisse, a pretty bulky fairy type with the Aroma availability preventing it from being taunted. It's a pretty good wish passer. It can pass off big wishes. It can Moonblast things. It gets Mystical Fire for coverage to hit stuff like Scizor. It can Calm Mind up, which is pretty spooky. And in this match, I think Aromatisse probably should come. It's his best switch into Hydreigon, obviously resisting my dual stab. Something like a Flash Can would do a lot, but he can wish pass into other things, like try to keep Excadrill pretty healthy, or wish pass into something like Toxtricity or Infernape to try to get it in. So probably expecting it, Aromatisse just as a primary switch in to something like Hydreigon. It can't do a whole lot against something like Toxapex. Scizor can Bullet Punch it, which will do a lot, but I still think it probably has to come just because Hydra does a pretty good numbers to his team. Otherwise, next up is Dusclops, a very bulky Eviolite user, a pure ghost type with massive defenses, especially boosted up with Eviolite. It can Nightshade, it can toss off Will-O-Wisps, it can trick him around just to slow some stuff down. But Dusclops in this match probably not coming. Gliscor was super free on this thing once my Toxic Orb is off. He can't really do a whole lot. Nightshade plus Poison Heal isn't really doing anything for him. And I can just kind of set up all over in his face. So not really expecting Dusclops. If it does come, I have the mons for it, I believe. Next up is Slaking, an incredibly scary normal type, incredibly threatening, except it does have the Truant's ability. His sketch move is Skill Swap, which is incredibly spooky. Yeah, I could give him something terrible like Technician or Regenerator or something of the sort, and he can just be an incredibly beefy dude, firing off huge moves like Body Slam or Facade, Earthquake. It's got tremendous coverage, and just giving something Truant on my team would be absolutely horrible. So I'm really hoping Slaking doesn't come. He didn't bring it week 1, which he might bring it week 2 just because it forces me to play differently just because Slaking's sitting there. I think he needs some other stuff from the team. I'm praying Slaking doesn't come, but I'm really scared of it. It's just so tough. So I just hope it doesn't come. I really don't have any more to say. And then last but not least, he's got Thwackey, a pretty cool grass type with the Grassy Surge ability. He's a great choice band user with stuff like Grassy Glide, Knockoff, U-Turn. So Thwackey in this match, it might come just to remove some electric terrain. It can obviously take Rising Voltage incredibly well. It can also do some other stuff, but things like Mega Scizor and Hydra and Delphox kind of just run all over it. So not really expecting Thwackey this week. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into what I am bringing this match. Leading us off, We're rocking Marigold the Tapu Koko again, running a heavy-duty boot set with Electric Surge this week. Rising Voltage, Nature's Madness, U-Turn, and Roost. Max Special Attack, 184 in speed, and then 72 in HP just for a little bit of bulk. This is a pretty solid pivot this week with heavy-duty boots. Rising Voltage does a lot of damage to a lot of stuff on his team, except for stuff like Excadrill. Obviously, Latias isn't taking anything. Excadrill is super free on this thing every single time. Nature's Madness chips that down a pretty good bit. U-Turn is also just good for pivoting on that, or something like T-Tar if it wants to come in, or Latias coming in to take, you know, a Rising Voltage. But this threatens Torn-T very, very hard. It threatens Mega Blastoise very hard. But something like Torn-T, I do have to watch out. I don't want to take a Sludge Wave trying to switch in on that, but I do have some Roost for some longevity to try to take some hits from that thing, maybe some hits from Latias. If he's more defensive, I can pivot around or chip that thing down with Nature's Madness. So really liking Marigold this week. It's just a solid early game pivot to try to get me into my more offensive mons. Next up, we're rocking Psychosphere the Mega Scizor again. Mega Scizor running a defensive set this week with Scissorite and the Technician ability. Bullet Punch, Bone Meringue, U-Turn, and a Roost, fully physically defensive. Like I said, this is my main switch into Excadrill. I think he'll run the Ice Memory. I really hope he doesn't run the Fire Memory. If he does, then fantastic prep, counter predicting what I'm going to bring. But Bullet Punch does a whole bunch of things like T-Tar, Latias. It hits Thwackey and Aromatisse pretty hard. Bone Meringue is there for Excadrill and Toxtricity. Both of those don't take anything from Bullet Punch, but Bone Meringue absolutely smashes both of them. I can't let him predict that and get into something like Torn-T. It'll pressure me incredibly hard with a Heat Wave. U-Turn is there for pivoting around. It obviously hits Tyranitar incredibly hard and just pivoting around on something like Infernape coming in. And then Roost for longevity, just trying to keep myself as healthy as possible so I can continue switching into mons like Tyranitar and Excadrill. So Psychosphere is an absolute key to this match to keep around in the late game. I cannot get swept by Drill in the late game. I mean, if he has the Fire Memory, then it's essentially GG's at that point, and that would be fantastic prep. I'm praying he brings the Ice Memory. I think he will just because Gliscor, but you know, he's a fantastic battler, and he brings some great prep, so maybe that'll come, but hopefully not. Next up, we're bringing Omega the Hydreigon again, running a funky set this week with the Yachi Berry and the Levitate ability, Crunch, Earthquake, U-Turn, and Dragon Dance. 204 in HP, 128 in defense, and 176 in speed with a Jolly Nature. This speed investment lets me outspeed Max Speed Jolly Excadrill if he's outside of Sand, or if it were both at like +2 or whatever. This defense investment lets me take 2 Iron Heads plus Sandstorm Chip, or just like a multi-attack plus Sandstorm with my Yachi Berry. Earthquake does a whole lot to that thing. It OHKOs if I'm at +1 with Dragon Dance, and I really don't think he'll be expecting a Dragon Dance set this week. If he brings something like Thwackey with Grassy Terrain, then fantastic prep on his part. Earthquake won't be doing a whole lot, but Earthquake plus Crunch does a whole lot to pretty much every single thing on this team. So I'm really hoping I can surprise him. U-Turn is just pivoting around in the early game. Maybe trying to trick him into something like that on like Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. Because Aromatisse comes in on this thing. Even if I get a +1 up, Earthquake is only doing like 50%, and that's if he's like max special defense. He's got no Phys Def on there. So I'm really liking Omega in the late game. I hope it can clean up. That would be really powerful if it could. But something like T-Tar, he could be rocking Ice Punch. Latias could be rocking Ice Beam. So I cannot let my Yachi Berry get popped early, because I really need it for the multi-attack on Drill if I find out he's the Ice Memory. Next up, we're rocking MK Ultra this week. Gliscor making his debut for us with the Toxic Orb and Poison Heal ability. Earthquake, Facade, Swords Dance, and Substitute. 244 in HP, 120 in speed with the Jolly Nature, and 144 in Speed Up just to make myself as bulky as I can be. This is a pretty solid offensive set this week. I can set up in front of a whole bunch of things, especially that Tyranitar if he's not rocking Ice Punch. I scare him out with an Earthquake. Facade does a whole lot to pretty much everything else on the team that's not named Dusclops. Swords Dance is just really solid. I can boost up. Facade does a lot to most things. Earthquake does a lot. His team doesn't like ground moves, so I'm really liking I can threaten some stuff with EQ. Sub is there, so I can't get, you know, something like surprised by an Icy Wind or something of the sort from Torn-T. And just let me take some hits a little bit better. Maybe try to force him to pop my Substitute, and I can smack something with an Earthquake or a Facade. So I'm really liking this set this week. Beater, like I said, he's a fantastic prepper, and I've been using Gliscor incredibly defensively in the SDF, which he's also in. So I'm kind of expecting him to expect me to bring a defensive Gliscor to maybe try to take on Drill. So I'm hoping this set can take him by surprise and claim some kills. It's just a really solid early game breaker and forces some stuff on his part to try to break my stuff with like Latias, like hitting me with an Ice Beam, and I can smack him with Facade. So really liking this set this week. I hope it puts in work. Next up, we are rocking Priestess the Toxapex again, running a specially defensive set this week with Black Sludge and the Regenerator ability. Scald, Recover, Teleport, and Toxic. 248 in HP, 68 in defense, and then 192 in special defense with the Calm Nature. My defense investment lets me not get 3-shot by Mega Blastoise, Earthquake if he's uninvested, something like Quiet Nature or something of the sort. The rest just thrown into special defense to make me as bulky as possible. This is my primary switch into Mega Blastoise. Origin Pulses aren't doing too much, even if he's like fully invested. This is also a decent switch into Torn T. Hopefully he doesn't run Psychic. If he's like a nasty plot set with Psychic, then okay, that's totally okay. But if he's just something like Heavy Duty Boots Pivot, I can teleport out, take a Hurricane or an Oblivion Wing, no problem. I can recover up for longevity. I can toss off a Toxic onto something like T-Tar. He doesn't want to take a Scald just because he could get burned. But if he wants to stay in, maybe he doesn't care about that. Toxic is good for that. It's also good for hitting Latias coming in, or Mega Blastoise if he wants to stay in and click EQ. So really liking Priestess this week. I needed to keep Mega Blastoise in check. If he gets like 2 Rapid Spins off and then just starts spamming stuff like Origin Pulse, I'm in a lot of trouble. So I need Priestess to do her job and keep that thing in check. This is also just a decent switch in to come in against Aromatisse. He can obviously toss off a Wish and try to do some stuff, but I can teleport out. I can toss the Toxic off, or just pressure it with something like if I was running like Sludge Bomb or something of the sort. So liking Priestess this week, I needed to do its job. And then last but not least, we're rocking Absalom again. The Delmai is just running another fully specially defensive Assault Vest set with the Steelworker ability. Poltergeist, Power Whip, Earthquake, and Rapid Spin, fully specially defensive. This is my best and only switch into Toxtricity. Like I said, I'm resisting Overdrive and Sparkling Aria. I'm immune to Boom Burst. Something like a Spec Sludge Wave still does a whole lot to me because it is so strong, but Earthquake pressures it really hard. Poltergeist hits a lot of stuff on this team. Torn T, Drill, Latias. Power Whip is there for that Mega Blastoise and the Tyranitar, so they can't come in safely. EQ is obviously there for Tox, and then Rapid Spin just for removing any hazards that he wants to set with something like T-Tar. So really liking Absalom this week. I needed to keep Toxtricity in check because if this thing goes down, I have literally no switch-ins, especially if he's choice specs, just Priestess, MK Ultra, Omega, Psychosphere, Marigold, they all just die immediately. So I really got to keep Absalom in check. If he doesn't bring Toxtricity, then okay, this does a decent job against his team. It doesn't switch in super well, but it does pressure stuff like T-Tar and Latias pretty hard with something like a Poltergeist or a Power Whip. So really liking Absalom. I hope he does some good work. I wanted to bring Doom Desire, but I really thought I needed the 4 moves I have. But hopefully he still does his job. And so that is the team we are rocking with this match. This is going to be really hard. Beater's a tremendous battler, and he's on a roll recently. And his team is just so strong. So I'm going to try my best, but with all that out of the way, let's hop into the battle. Alrighty guys, we are about to hop into this Week 2 match against Beater and the Philadelphia Flygons. You can see the 6 I expect him to bring up on the screen. Tornadus-Therian, Tyranitar, Excadrill, Latias, Toxtricity, and Aromatisse. I could absolutely see Mega Blastoise in there, or that Slaking, or maybe Infernape as well. So you've seen the 6 I am bringing and why I am bringing them. If you haven't, go check out the Team Builder, but this is going to be a really tough match. He's a really great battler, and he's got a wicked scary team, but I'm going to try my best. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Okay, we do see Mega Blastoise instead of Aromatisse. Definitely not surprised to see that. Blastoise is wicked spooky, so I gotta make sure I play Hex very well. But this is gonna be a great match, win or lose. I love playing Beater because he's a fantastic battler. He brings some cool stuff, so I'm very excited. Okay, from a lead perspective, he could absolutely lead Tox to pivot or just threaten me. He could lead Torn to do the same thing. He could lead Blastoise to pivot or threaten me, or just T-Tar. I don't want to lead Coco just because if he's something choice scarfed, like Toxtricity or Tornadus, I don't want to take a Sludge Wave and just die. I don't hate leading Scizor, but I think Torn is just a really good lead. So I kind of want to try to lead Toxapex and just teleport out immediately. I'll be able to scout investment on something or the other. If he leads Latias, then I'll just go into Marigold and try to take a hit, because I don't want to take like a Draco and Absalom or something of the sort. So I'm going to lead Priestess. He's going to lead T-Tar. Okay. So I could obviously toss off a Toxic. I could also Scald. I could teleport out. He's probably going to either set Rocks or click Earthquake. I want to see how much Earthquake is going to do. EQ does under half if he's got no attack investment. He has to, I mean, if I were to Scald burn him, that'd be bad, but I realistically am not going to do anything to this guy. I mean, MK Ultra isn't the worst play, and I need this thing healthy for Blastoise, but I'll regen out anyway. I'm just going to teleport. Oh, he's got Taunt on this guy. Good play. Alright, well, that's fine. He's going to see on Black Sludge. He's probably going to set Rocks here. I'm just going to go for Scald. If he goes for EQ, then that's fine. He's going to set his rocks. Burn. Burn, burn, burn. No, very sad. We see leftovers, which means he's not Smooth Rock. That's excellent to find out. He's probably going to click Earthquake this time. Or Stone Edge or Crunch or something of the sort. I don't know if he wants to risk another Scald Burn, though, on this guy. But Taunt is an absolutely fantastic bring. That should have been something I was aware of. But what are you going to do? I can go into Ultra, try to get my heal off, because I don't think he'll stay in here. He'll either go for EQ or pivot into something like Toxtricity. So I'm going to go into Ultra, try to get my heal off. Now he's going to stay in. What do you go for, EQ? Just Crunch? That's fine. I'm going to get my Toxic Orb off. And if I were to go for EQ, I would do a lot. I'm going to go for Sub and see what he wants to do. If he's got Ice Punch, he shows me right now. But I'm going to try to put on some pressure because he's definitely beating me in the beginning of this right now. He also sees I have no defense investment, which might lead him to believe that this is my Toxicity switch in if I forgot about Sparkling Aria of some sort, or something like that. But best case scenario, you switch out. That's a lot of damage on Gliscor already, especially after the sub. I'll get that back after 2 turns, but if he stays in and goes for Ice Punch, I'm going to be in a really bad spot. He's just going to go into Torn. Very cool. I can just click Facade and Scouting on this guy. He's probably going to go for Oblivion Wing. I'm just going to do that. He's got Taunt. He's going to stop me from Swords Dancing. That's cool. I get a free Facade off. 37. Okay, I'll see that. Let's check that investment. Taunt on 2 guys. Not surprising, but I mean, it absolutely makes sense. Somebody must have watched my my draft analysis video where I said, "Oh boy, I hope I don't get taunted." But fantastic brings, as always. All right, Facade doing 39. He's fairly uninvested, question mark, or he's got like some, but that looks to be a min roll on something or the other. He can go into Drill or back into T-Tar or Blastoise. I'm just going to click it again. I have no reason not to. He's going to stop me from roosting. He's going to go for O-Wing now. He's going to break my sub. Wow, he got a lot of HP back. He's Life Orb. 40. If I were to bet you either U-turn or pivot, but he's Lorb. Oh, that's scary. Life Orb. Let's assume he's max special attack. Oblivion Wing is going to do 52. I don't want to take that damage. He'll heal up and I won't be able to kill. So I can go into Marigold and try to take that. If he goes for Sludge Wave right now, that's okay. I mean, realistically, no, it's not. But if I go into Priestess, I'm still going to take a lot, and then he can taunt me, and I'll have to go for Scald. So I don't love that option. I'm going to go into Coco. Please don't go for Sludge Wave. He's just going to go for it again. Damn, that still did 34. That did a lot. So he's going to pivot here. I can either Roost, or I can click U-turn, or Nature's Madness. Or he could go for Sludge. No, but I'm faster. So I'm going to click U-turn. He's going to switch out. He probably goes into Drill. He could also go into T-Tar, or Latias, or Tox, honestly, because I can't touch Tox either. I'm just going to go for here. I can Roost and then U-turn. But I want to try to keep my momentum up. He's going to just go into Drill, yeah. Pink. Alright, well, here's the situation. I can go into Ultra. Because I don't have speed for this guy. I'm going to go into Sphere. He probably expects me to defog now, but I don't have defog. If he has multi-attack fire, he clicks it right now, and I've lost. But I'm going to click U-turn again. He knows I've got Boomerang. He does have it. God damn it. Man, great prep. Damn it. That really sucks. Man, great prep. Well, unfortunately, I'm in a really rough spot. I can go into Omega and try to pull some absolute horseshit, which is what I think I want to do. I gotta try to do something incredibly shenanigansy, so I'm gonna click Dragon Dance. I obviously threatened very hard with the Night Power. T-Tar is gonna come out. I'm gonna click Dragon Dance. I'm gonna click it again. This thing's got taunt. He's gonna stop me now. I'm gonna click EQ and hope this does a lot. Oh, he lived it. That's tragic. He's gonna crunch. That's fine. He lowers my defense. I don't know how much that matters. Ranatar. I can't. I'm so sad he lived that. Earthquake at +2. Oh, that was a min roll. Tragic. I don't think I had a chance to kill him, but it's still sad. I'll click crunch. He's gonna go down. Well, Omega's on the board. I'm very glad he got to do something, just because it was a pretty cool set, I thought. But realistically, I outspeed everything. He's probably gonna go into Blastoise here to take a hit. Let's see how much I'll do. Depends on what he's got. I can also just U-turn out, which is a totally cool option. Yeah, he's gonna go into Blastoise. I'm not doing anything to this guy. I'm just gonna U-turn out and keep myself intact. Yeah, crunch doesn't do nearly enough, and I don't want to throw Omega away. He can still do some things later. So I'm gonna U-turn. 34. Another min roll, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it might not have been. I don't know this thing's an investment yet. Well, Priestess is gonna come out here. He's gonna click Ice Beam. Totally okay with that. Thank God he didn't freeze me. Here, if he taunts me a third time, I don't know if Blastoise gets taunt, but I'm gonna look it up right now. Because if he friggin' knows taunt again, I'm gonna cry. Alright, good. Blastoise physically can't taunt me, so I'm gonna click teleport. He's just gonna flip turn. That's totally okay. I'm gonna get the momentum. He just goes into Latias. Telly out. I can go into Absalom and click Poltergeist. I think that's my play. I can take any hit from this thing. I can also try to get these rocks out of here. That's also, I don't hate that idea now that T-Tar is gone. I'm gonna click Rapid Spin. Because he doesn't have he's just gonna go for Magma Storm. That did a lot. Pink. Well, one more of those is gonna kill me. I should have just clicked Poltergeist. But why was I? Oh, Rapid Spin works on Magma Storm? Cool. Alright, well that's pretty hype. I didn't even think about that, but that's so cool. I can click Poltergeist and kind of thrash this thing, but after that happens, Toxtricity bodies me. Oh, what do I want to do here? He can't kill me, though, and he knows that. I'm surprised that did so much, because I'm AV max. You must be invested. Also, an absolute shame that he hit that, but what are you going to do? Magma Storm, 33. Yeah, he's fully invested. That was but Poltergeist is going to hurt something, so I'm going to click it. Because realistically, I'm not switching into Toxtricity anymore. And I just got to go to Omega in and try to do some stuff. He's going to go into Drill. Do a lot. Hit this, please. Bonk. 61. Very cool. My play is to go... You're either going to go for multi-attack or Iron Head. There's no way you go for anything else. What do I want to do? He's seen my hand with Omega. But if I get a Dragon Dance off with that guy, I'm in a really good spot. Because you don't have Sand anymore, obviously. And I outspeed everything else unless he's Choice Scarf Latias, which he absolutely could be. I gotta keep that in mind. I could also go into Coco. Nah, that's a terrible idea. I'm not doing anything to him. I think you're gonna click Iron Head. Do I take 2 from a drill with Gliscor at my current position? Yes. However, at that point, I'm dead in the water. Because I don't have Roost. But after that, I get a free switch into Omega. So let's go into Ultra here. He's just going to click multi-attack. That's okay. 28. You can either sub... Or you can click that again on my substitute. Because Facade won't kill. I'm going to click sub. Actually, if he Iron Heads me, I won't have enough. I'm going to go for EQ. I think you're going to say and click Iron Head on my substitute. If he goes into Torn, that's okay. I'll just go into Priestess again. He's going to go into Blastoise. That's fine. I'll get some decent chip on this guy. He's going to be able to flip turn into Tox. Into Toxtricity on me going into Priestess. So I'm going to go... Absalom is still dead in the water, but that forces him to go into something not named Toxtricity, and then I can try to go into Omega and do some dumb stuff. So let's go into Absalom here. He's just going to flip turn. Yep. Horn's going to come out. He's just going to O-Wing. I'm assuming that kills me. He's Lorb. But I got to get Drill out of the way, because after that, I mean, Coco's looking pretty solid. So, yeah, this kills me. He's got Taunt on this. I know he does. So Peck's coming in is useless. The question is, do I want Absalom around? I'm going to go into Priestess, and I'm going to double. Oh, he's just going to U-turn this time. Good play. Very good play. Alright, well, Toxtricity's going to come out here. I have to go and sack off Absalom, and then go into Ultra and try to set up a sub. Oh, he's going to go into Latias. Interesting. Oh, he's leftovers. I'm going to click Teleport. He's going to sub. That's bad. I got to go into Coco and click U-turn. What is he, like, sub-stalling with Toxic and Magma Storm? I'm going to go back into Priestess. He's probably going to click Psychic this time. Oh, Psyshock, yeah. Alright, well, he's sub. I don't know what this thing's set is. Sub, Toxic, Psyshock. I'm going to go into Absalom and sack that off, because he's tried his best, but it's not working. I'm going to click Poltergeist, yeah. Alright, he does not know that I don't have Dazzling Gleam on Coco. Man. I don't know what his last move is. If it's a dragon move, I've lost. I mean, I've probably already lost anyway. I don't think I can beat this Latias, but... I'm going to go into Marigold. I'm going to click Roost and see what his play is. He's going to go with Toxtricity. And I'm out of... I have no switch into this. I gotta keep Coco around, obviously. It's my only way to kind of sort of win. He's just gonna click Boom Burst. It's gonna be a 50-50 on Omega, whether I scare this thing out with Earthquake and he goes into Torn. But Torn can definitely live a crunch, even a +1-1. Yeah, +1 crunch does 80% max. But I need this thing to beat Tornadus. I'm going to U-turn. Always Choice Scarf. Game's over. That's a damn shame. Alright, well, my play is to go into Ultra, I think. I don't know why I didn't think about Choice Scarf. That was a great bring. That was not smart of me. Alright, well. Gliscor's gonna come out. He can Boom Burst through my sub. I can also go into Omega. Omega probably dies to a Sludge Wave, though. Yeah. I gotta go into Ultra. Gotta click Swords Dance. Because that Tornadus took nothing. Oh, Latias is gonna come out. Well, if your last move is Ice Beam, then completely GG's, but I'll click Facade and see what happens. Yeah. Damn. He really just outclassed me. This Latias set was brilliant. It thrashed this entire team. I'm gonna go into Omega. Maybe he doesn't click Ice Beam. but it's pretty obvious. I've lost at this point. Yeah, it's gonna click Side Shock. Well, back into Priestess. I'm gonna try to do some really stupid things and force him to make a mistake. And this time I'm gonna stay in and click Recover. Oh, he crit me? Well, that's just insult to injury, but that's good. Oh, I wasn't pulling that back anyway. He deserved this win. He really just beat me. So, oh, I forgot about my Yachi Berry. I could have set up a Dragon Dance. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, man. Well, that totally sucks. I mean, Torn would have still lived one, but I'm gonna get a 4-0 out of it. But GG's to Beater, man. He brought absolutely great prep. Losing my Scizor that early was an absolute travesty because he probably would have helped me a little bit. But, you know, what can you do? I kind of expected that to happen. But GG's to Beater. Great game. Great game as always. Always a pleasure. So, but yeah, GG's. I knew that was going to be rough. He's got a great team. He's a great battler, and he just kind of out-prepped me. So, GG's to my buddy again. Thank you guys so much for watching this battle. We'll be back next week in the OMDL looking to get back on the right track. But, you know, we had a fairly solid week 1 match, so not the end of the world. So, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.